Is it healthier for a society to entrust defense to 1% of its population, while the other 99% thanks their lucky stars they don't have to do the dirty work? That's a powerful quote from an inspiring book called The Warrior Ethos, and I think it perfectly captures a problem I see in our country today. A warrior society is a culture or a society that recognizes a separate warrior class. Are we a warrior society? Should we be? Or better yet, do you even want to be a warrior society? I come from a culture where the attributes of a warrior are ingrained into every fiber of who we are. As a warrior, I understand what it takes to be successful at the highest levels and triumph under pressure. I envision our society coming together to support our warriors and their families no matter what their beliefs are, because it's the right thing to do. If you're familiar with the 80-20 rule, then you recognize that roughly 20% of the country's citizens carry the load of the remaining 80%. This should not be the rule that describes our country. What separates a country or a team from all the others is when the percentage of those that produce do so efficiently. The more that actively contribute, the stronger that country or team becomes. In order for our current structure to truly succeed, our civilians and our warriors must be supportive of each other in order to achieve maximum effectiveness. This successful combination of the two citizen factions of our country is often what I refer to as Team America. It's imperative that the 80% do all they can to support the 20% in order to keep our country strong. Throughout our country's history, our warriors have provided us the ability to truly live the ideology set forth by our founders, that of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In turn, I fear we've created a society of complacent and entitled citizens that do not actively support our warriors, for they only know the safety that those very warriors provide. While I cringe to think that I've fought for their right to sit there and do absolutely nothing, I wouldn't change any of my decisions because of a virtue that I hold highest: integrity. Stepping up and doing the right thing when no one is looking, regardless of how challenging that decision to act may have been, and whether or not glory is attached to the outcome. Experiences throughout my life helped me cultivate this virtue, and I can't tell you how or when, but I promise you, once you embrace integrity, the decisions that follow are hugely rewarding. I truly believe that if you're not advocating for our warriors, then you are failing to realize their importance to our country's future and the freedoms that we often take for granted. At every opportunity, we should encourage people to support our warriors in their efforts against evil, and I mean truly encourage. And while checkbooks help, it should not be an easy way out. We have to praise and appreciate those whose sole purpose is to combat evil and often make the ultimate sacrifice. Their heroism should be rewarded, and we should encourage others to support them as well, regardless of their personal leanings. I know there are many citizens out there, both warrior and civilian, throughout this world that fight for freedom every single day, and their stories inspire us. These stories led me to create a Fight for Freedom discount within the company I founded, Dynamis Alliance. You can go to the website, send us your stories about how you fought for freedom, and we'll recognize you for your efforts. Your stories are encouraging and will embolden all of us to make the right choices in our own lives. The warrior culture does not happen on its own. It takes teamwork and it takes communication. I'm not asking you to embrace war, but I encourage you to embrace the warrior.